Hi, Rory Reid here, and inside this stylish-looking carry case is the Asus W90, which, if Asus are to be believed, holds the world record 3D Mark benchmark score, 20,284. Now, for reference, your average Alienware only gets somewhere in the region of 15,000, so this is a pretty big deal. Actually, the word big probably doesn't do this laptop justice. In fact, the word laptop doesn't really do it justice either. It weighs 5.2 kilos, which, give or take a couple of kilos, is about the same weight as your average desktop PC. My advice is don't use this laptop on your lap. You'll break it. Your lap, I mean. Now, before we discuss the internal components, which are pretty impressive, let's take a look around this thing. It's fairly attractive for a gaming laptop. We'll take our hats off to Asus for not going overboard with flashing lights or brightly coloured panels. The lid has an understated brushed metal effect, while inside is mostly matte black. There's a lot going on around the keyboard as well. To its left, there's a slider for adjusting the volume, plus shortcut keys for rewinding, fast-forwarding and skipping tracks, etc. Above the keyboard, there are shortcut buttons for muting the volume, enabling or disabling the mouse trackpad for when you're not using the bundled USB mouse, plus a few others, the most interesting of which is a slider for adjusting the brightness of the screen. The screen itself, by the way, measures 18.4 inches and has a resolution of 1920 by 1080. Yep, full 1080p HD. Laptop speakers are usually pretty pants, but because this thing is so big, Asus has had the luxury to install a half-decent sound system. There are speakers above the keyboard, speakers on the front edge, and a subwoofer underneath. Now, granted, these things usually sound pants, but this thing's actually quite loud and can certainly fill a room or annoy your colleagues, or so they tell me. Now, let's talk about specs. This particular model has a Core 2 Duo T9550 CPU, although it's available with a quad-core chip as well. Plus, you get a whopping 6 gigs of RAM, which is the most we've ever seen in any laptop. The real star of the show, however, is a pair of ATI Mobility Radeon HD 4870X2 graphics cards. These are quite simply the fastest graphics cards ATI has ever made, so running Solitaire shouldn't really be a problem. Other specs include a couple of 320 gig hard drives, a Blu-ray player, and a dedicated numerical keypad for adding up spreadsheets and maybe doing things in World of Warcraft. Overall, the W90 is a pretty stunning machine. It's fast, arguably the fastest thing we've ever seen, and it doesn't look as if it was designed for 13-year-old boys. Plus, it's big enough to be used as a makeshift weapon when you run out of ammo. Now, if you have a spare £2,400 lying around, then you have my blessing to go and buy one, if you're strong enough to hold it. I'm Rory Reid for CNET UK.